Some people, when they fall in love, they don't just want your time, they want control. Today's story is about a girl who didn't just fall for me. She started playing with my life. Her name was Aaliyah, and it all began with one small message. We met on Instagram. It all started with memes, replies, and harmless late-night chats. Soon the conversation stretched till morning. A few days later, we met for the first time at a cafe. Simple clothes, soft voice, and an innocence in her eyes, and I was hooked. Then we started meeting every day. Walks in the park, dinner dates, movies. We lived everything a perfect couple should. With time, the physical intimacy grew. And when she'd rest her head on my chest and whisper, "It's just you. I don't need anything else," it felt like life was finally complete. We couldn't imagine a day without each other. Whenever I got a little busy, my phone would blow up with her messages. "Where are you? Who are you with? Why didn't you answer?" At first it felt like love, then slowly, like chains. "You're my everything. Living without you feels like a sin." I thought it was just intense love, but this was turning into pure obsession. One day a friend told me Aaliyah had done this before. In college, she stalked a guy the same way. He got so disturbed that he left the city. Aaliyah convinced everyone she was innocent. But now I was scared. Was I just another victim? One night I came home, and the door was locked from the inside. Was someone in my apartment? When I entered, her perfume filled the room. The exact one Aaliyah used. On the bed, lipstick marks on my pillow, and the same bedsheet we once used. CCTV footage later showed a masked figure entering at 3 a.m. The walk, the build, the movements. It was Aaliyah. Just then, a message popped up on my phone. "How did it feel being back in your bed? Everything's the same, except you're missing." That night I couldn't sleep, and when I finally drifted off, she was there. Aaliyah stood in front of me, still face, but her eyes didn't hold love anymore. Only rage. "You can go, but I'll never let you leave me." I woke up screaming, but I swear, a shadow still lingered in that room. I decided to end it. We met at a cafe. I told her everything honestly. "Your love is killing me." She smiled softly and whispered, "The only substitute for love is death." That night someone knocked at the door. No one was there. Just a razor blade on the floor, and a note beside it. "You mocked my love, now suffer my hate." I changed my number, left the city, started therapy. But one day after leaving the gym, I found a paper on my windshield. "No matter where you go, I'll be there." My hands were trembling. If love starts to suffocate you, it's not love, it's a prison. Girls like Aaliyah don't just live in stories, they breathe in the real world too. If you've ever known someone like Aaliyah, just comment one word below, "Saved myself." Mental health is no joke. Sometimes love starts beautifully, but then slowly it turns into obsession. And when you finally try to end it, that's when the real nightmare begins. This story is based on a true experience. But before we dive in, here's a quick word from today's sponsor. Listen closely. This is how it all went horribly wrong. It all started back in my senior year of high school. I'm 20 now, but honestly, it still feels like yesterday. That wound hasn't healed, not even a little. We both worked part-time at the same place. That's how we got close. At first, she seemed like a quiet, normal girl. But after a while, I realized something was off. We started dating. But it didn't take long before I found myself in a toxic relationship. She had to know where I was, who I was with, and what I was doing at all times. If I missed a call, I'd return to 20 missed calls and a flood of texts. It felt like I was living in a cage. I couldn't even play games with my friends without getting into a fight. Eventually, I ended the relationship, but that wasn't the end. That was just the beginning of the horror. Grace couldn't take the breakup. She started stalking me. She'd wait outside my workplace, follow me to my car, and beg me to talk. Then one day she texted me, Just talk to me one last time, please." My mistake. I said yes. I got into her car. At first she cried, then she started guilt-tripping me. Then her phone rang. It was her dad. She turned to me and said, "If you don't stay with me right now, I'll tell my dad to press charges against you." I was frozen. I tried to open the door, but it was locked. She grabbed my wrist. Her nails dug into my skin. The look on her face, I'll never forget it. Pure hate, pure madness. I shoved her, managed to unlock the door, and ran. But even that wasn't the end. Grace lived just a few blocks away from me. That night, I was in my room playing GTA. Suddenly, I heard a car outside. I ignored it at first. Then, I heard a soft knock on my window. My heart stopped. Then I heard it. My name, in Grace's voice. I stayed silent. Maybe she'd leave, but the knocking got louder. Then she started shouting, "You can't leave me like this. You're horrible." I opened the window and yelled, "Get the hell away from my house." She started crying. "Just give me my sweater, please." It was 2 a.m. I pulled out my phone and said, "If you don't leave, I'm calling the police." That's when I saw something that made my blood run cold. Behind Grace, in my yard, behind the tree, someone was standing there, wearing a hoodie, just watching. The moment I locked eyes with him, Grace saw my reaction. She grabbed my wrist again, but I broke free. The man from behind the tree started running, straight towards my window. I slammed it shut just in time. Grace's wrist got caught. She screamed, yanked her hand out. I locked the window. My hands were shaking. I grabbed my phone and showed her. 911 is dialed. The moment she saw that, they both ran. The police came. I filed a report, but without solid evidence. Nothing happened. No case. No arrest. But what still keeps me up at night is this. I know Grace had done this to others before. She'd had people jumped, robbed. If I hadn't noticed that shadow that night, if I had been a few seconds slower, someone else might be telling this story instead of me. Some people never let go, not in love, not in hate. But the truth is, that isn't love. That's obsession. And obsession is dangerous. If you're in a relationship where you feel unsafe, please ask for help. If you found this story gripping, make sure to subscribe to the channel and tell us in the comments, when was the last time you had to escape to survive? Every night, exactly at 2 a.m., I would wake up, and outside my window, there she was, a girl I had never seen before, standing still. I didn't know her, but the way she stared at me, it was like she had known me for years. This is the story of a man who moves to a quiet, old flat, far away from the chaos of the city, seeking peace, but something else lives with the silence. I had just moved into an old, rundown part of the city, an area that was once lively but now lived in silence. Crumbling walls, flickering streetlights, and a strange kind of stillness surrounded everything. The flat I rented was small, but within my budget. Most importantly, it was isolated, exactly what I needed. The first few nights went by quietly, but on the fifth night, something changed. I looked out my window, and she was there. Across the street, under a flickering streetlight, stood a girl, wearing a white dress, messy hair, and a face half hidden in the shadows. But her eyes were perfectly visible, and she was staring only at me. I kept watching her, and she didn't move an inch. No blinking, no shifting, no words, just a blank, focused stare. At first, I thought she might be lost or drunk, maybe a homeless woman. But then she came back. The next night, same spot, same expression. Then again the night after, and the one after that. It wasn't a coincidence anymore. It had become a pattern. One night I decided to record her. I picked up my phone, turned on the camera, and aimed it through the window. But on the screen, the street was completely empty. No girl, no shadow, Not even the flickering light. I lowered the phone and looked with my own eyes. She was still standing right there. I told my friends. They laughed it off. Bro, you're just tripping. That's what isolation does to people. But I wasn't imagining it. Not this clearly. Not this consistently. At first, she was across the street. A few days later, she was right outside my building gate. Then, just below my balcony. And one night when I got up to drink water, I felt like someone was watching me through the window. I pulled the curtain slightly. She was right there. Right. Outside my window. I froze. The next morning, I found a black hair clip on my balcony. A clip I had never seen before. Later that day, I got a message on my phone. You called me. Remember? It was from an unknown number. I felt a chill go down my spine. Then I remembered something strange. A few weeks earlier, during a chat with a friend, I had jokingly said, I wish someone existed just to silently watch me. No talking, no demands, just watching. Did someone hear me? Now every night the sounds would begin. Light scratching, like fingernails sliding slowly across glass. Sometimes I'd hear my doorknob move, but no one would be outside. One night I heard footsteps from beneath my bed, like someone dragging their body across the floor. I didn't even have the courage to scream. I just lay there, cold and shaking. One night I saw a dream, or maybe it wasn't a dream. I was lying in bed, and she was standing right next to me, silent, still, staring down at me. The entire room felt frozen, like the air had turned into ice. Then I woke up, drenched in sweat. There was a visible impression on the corner of my blanket, like someone had been sitting there. Terrified, I finally spoke to an old tenant of the building. He looked down and said, You want to know why the flat was so cheap? A girl once lived there. She took her own life years ago, after her boyfriend abandoned her. He paused, then added, They say, her last note read, If you leave me, I'll never leave you. From then on, I started finding strange notes near my bed, sometimes written on tissue paper, sometimes smeared on the wall in lipstick. I just wanted to watch you, but you looked away. Another said, You can't end this because you didn't start it. It's night again. I'm writing all of this right now. The clock is about to strike 2 a.m. I can hear faint tapping on the glass. The door just creaked open on its own. I can feel her breath behind my neck. I'm not turning around. And maybe this is the last thing I'll ever write. Some wishes are better left unspoken, because when they're heard, they don't bring you joy, they bring you fear.